poses. In your sandal tights, fighting for your rights, and the old red, white, and blue. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. Now the world is ready for you, and the wonders you can do. Make a hawk a dove, stop a war with love, make a liar tell the truth. Wonder Woman, get us out from under, Wonder Woman. All our hopes are pinned upon you, and the magic that you do. Stop the moving cold, make the axis fall, change the minds, and change the world. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman, you're Wonder Woman.
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta.
But if we pull our hair back and put on glasses, you'll swear we're Memphis.
It's the 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm wondering if Gal Gadot will have to change her name since alliteration is kind of a Marvel thing.
So let's talk about some stuff.
We must.
And you're wrong about that. It's a totally a DC thing. Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, Lana Lane, Lana Lang.
But don't they do that mostly in Marvel too, or is it
No.
mostly?
That's a huge DC thing. I mean, there's a lot of that in all of it, but it's way more.
It's way more in
prevalent
DC.
in the Superman stuff, at least. Yeah,
Well,
everybody's
yeah.
well. I mean, there's Peter Parker, but it's not so much.
Okay.
There's a lot of it. But
All right.
speaking of Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman and
No!
such, we have finally seen Wonder Woman, and we just left, and so
It's freshly in our eyeballs.
yes.
It's settling into our cortex, and we have thoughts.
Okay.
What are yours?
I'm very happy. I think they finally getting on the right track. Well, first of all, very, very, very first of all, they finally got a decent DC Films logo. Like it would be animated.
Oh, yes. At the very beginning, I'm going, are they good? Oh, yes. Okay, they're kind of hyping the
Finally.
Marvel thing.
Yep,
Like,
because Marvel has the flipping panels
Right.
thing, which is really cool, and they've been doing that for a long time, and
Right.
DC has been kind of shitty and not having
here's two letters on a screen.
Yeah,
Look,
here's the
it's
company.
D and a C.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. We have characters people know. So they finally start Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Did you notice a character that they featured prominently,
Cyborg, yeah.
No. I'm talking about in that opening, not in Justice League, but in that opening.
Yeah, Cyborg was in that.
Yeah, but did you notice the kind of, let's say, that particular character's track is arrested at the moment?
What? No.
Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah. They put him back in there.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, maybe we're gonna.
Eventually, there's absolutely 100% no doubt that they will eventually do another Green Lantern movie. They will.
Or they're gonna have to wash the stank off the. Although Ryan Reynolds was, Ryan Reynolds.
Right, and he was not the right guy for that role, is what it is. He's not. Nathan Fillion is that guy.
Yes.
That type of guy. That's who. Hal
Ryan
Jordan
Reynolds
is.
would be a really good Deadpool. I'm thinking.
He would be all right.
You
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I did notice that one of the previews they showed before Wonder Woman was the Hitman's Bodyguard.
I hadn't seen that before.
Neither had I. I didn't even know it existed.
No.
And it pretty much is Deadpool without the he
is that bull without.
Well, of course. Well, he's been that guy for 15
Forever,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean that's like his particular
Right.
sass. It's just the sass is turned down from 11 on Deadpool to maybe like your mid 7/8. Like you get the sass, but
Yeah.
it's not so comically in your face.
And that looked really funny.
I could see that.
That looked really
Probably
good.
not in the theater,
Yeah, probably not.
but that definitely is something where as soon as it's out, for Netflix, I'm gonna check it out.
Yep,
there.
totally. But I did also know. But what I was saying was that they did. It is very funny that they did feature Cyborg in that opening, just because he's in Justice League. He's a good character, and he's finally getting his due. But just they're like, that's a little bit subliminal advertising right there.
I'm like, I tell you, if Justice League is going to spend 20 minutes on the origin story of Cyborg, the movie's already failed, in my opinion.
Why?
Because you do your stories separately and then you bring them together. This is about the battle at hand, not about... Because that's one of my biggest complaints about Suicide Squad. Half the people, what was the first 20, 30 minutes of the film was just dossiers on everybody.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't, they're not good enough characters to have their own films, so we need to fill you in on everything. I just, it rubbed me kind of like, all right, let's get to the action.
They are definitely doing origins of him, at least in that movie. Maybe, here's the thing. Here's my thought is what it'll be, is we'll get a bit of an origin on him, and we'll get a bit of an origin on Flash, and that'll be it. Because
they got to leave Aquaman for his own film. He has to have his own.
That's in production right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Good.
It has begun production.
Because I don't know if I really care about a Cyborg origin film standalone.
Well,
Says the guy who just said, "How come there's no Cyborg?" maybe DC went, "Yeah, I don't think we can justify."
My theory is there's an animated one called War, I think, where they started kind of over, and they used that movie. If they use Justice League itself kind of as his origin movie and leave it at that, and like make him kind of the arc through the thing.
True,
that could work.
It depends on it. It actually depends on how they tell the story.
Make his story kind of the central point of view thing.
Okay,
that could work.
That's a storytelling technique where I can go, okay,
yeah,
I could see that. And of course, they tease little bits of Aquaman because everyone wants the Aquaman film.
Yeah,
no one's screaming for a Cyborg film that I've heard, but everyone wants an Aquaman. Mostly girls, because of Jason
Momoa,
yeah, just like he's just so, yeah. So kind of the same way the guys are going, Gal Gadot.
Yes.
She is very attractive to look at. We must acknowledge that.
Okay,
but she kicks some serious ass.
Yep. Okay, well, let's get into it. Okay. The thing I think is one of my favorite things about this franchise or this Wonder Woman thing
the Wonder Woman franchise.
Well, this iteration of it. This Gal Gadot iteration.
We haven't had a Wonder Woman since the 70s,
Hear me
right?
out. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I just want to say there hasn't been something they did in the 90s. Like
the one thing they have figured out, and again, she's the best thing in Batman v Superman.
Only. No.
I've watched it. I just watched it again to gear up, and it gets less terrible every time I watch it. I don't hate it. It's got its moments. She's still definitely the strongest thing in it. But my favorite thing about this version with her, she finally has a theme song. Not necessarily a theme song, but theme music. That
okay, yeah.
And it's like finally, that's how iconic is the Christopher Reeve Superman music, the John Williams, and the Danny Elfman Batman music,
and the Danny Elfman Pee-wee. And the Danny Elfman, everything that he does.
Well, right, but I mean, we didn't have, the current iterations of Superman. They don't have theme songs. They don't have theme music.
That's true.
They don't. It's like Hans Zimmer, just kind of generic. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, you listen to it and go, "Oh yeah, that's the Batman music," but it's not like
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
that's Batman.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun. She finally has a piece of music that fits so well, and that was like the very, very beginning of, again, we just watched Wonder Woman. We're going to spoil it.
Oh, yes.
you figured that out.
Spoiler beyond comprehension.
The first thing that we hear was that little riff. It was the first thing, and that made me just smile. I was like, okay, I'm in. So that's one of my favorite things about it. And they could not have cast it better, I don't think.
I can't think of a single person that would even come close.
It just she has so much right about her for this. The fact,
I can't think of anything that's like, if only there's nothing wrong with her
at all. Nothing,
zero. She's got the look. She's got that kind of, at least to American ears, foreign but not over the top. You know what I mean? As far as accent goes,
And I
she's
really
not,
like.
I come from the. It's just
it's a lilt.
It's just a little bit affected, so it sounds kind of internationally foreign wherever you are. Kind of.
It doesn't sound like an American doing it.
Right, exactly.
And I love the fact that they made that the Amazonian accent. Like they all spoke with
right.
that
They all
went
to that kind of Americanized Israeli accent.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Including Robin Wright.
And she
as
did it
Mama
well.
as Mama Wonder Woman.
No, she wasn't the Mama. She was the war goddess. Connie Nielsen is Hippolyta.
No.
Yes, Connie Nielsen is Hippolyta, who plays.
I thought it was Robin Wright.
No, she's Antiope, who's the.
No, that's right.
Her sister.
She's the one that
she's
died.
her aunt. Yeah,
she's the one that got. That's.
Yeah, and she was awesome in it, Robin Wright. The fight sequences in this were fucking ridiculous. I wanted 20 more minutes of Amazons fighting.
Very very Zack Snyder-y.
Yeah, but it still worked. He chilled himself down a little bit. Well, it's not. He didn't direct it, so what am I talking about? Yeah, it still fits the.
He produced, wrote the story.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. We start on Parasite. Well, we start at the Louvre, which where her office evidently is. She works at the Louvre, and she's probably in charge of antiquities and such.
Maybe David S. Pumpkins will show up and goes, "I have a mystery." No.
Yeah, wrong. Many wrong franchises.
So many different. Okay.
And she gets a briefcase from Wayne Enterprises, and it is the photograph that she was looking for in Batman v Superman.
Yep.
Which was, I was like, oh, nice tie-in, and
I thought that was very smart.
Yeah.
Because I'm going. So we're at modern times. I really hope we're not going to have a whole series of flashbacks back and forth, unless there's a reason why we need to tie this story into the present, and we didn't.
No, and it actually, again, it like kind of helps along Batman v Superman, because it's like, oh, there's the MacGuffin that she was there for, and here it is. And it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't a big thing at the end of Justice League where I found your thing. It's like, here, I found your thing, and
here's the story.
Here's the story.
I literally, when she opened up the briefcase, I swear I thought like a Pulp Fiction golden light was going to come out of it for some reason. I'm like going, please don't do that, and they didn't, and it was wonderful.
Yep.
So we got Themyscira.
Themyscira,
is the native term for what
that's the name
Steve
of the
Trevor
can't say. So
he says Paradise Island. Which
nice.
Let's face it. You get all beat up and then you hop in a pool and you're healed up and lots of kick-ass, attractive women around. That's pretty close to
That's
Paradise.
not too bad. Yeah, not too shabby.
I like how I think they spent just a tiny bit too much time on the island before getting to the action. Just a little bit. But in saying that, I can't think of too many scenes where I can go, that could have been cut.
No. I get that, but it made it breathe well. Like I said, the problem with the DC movies is that they've been packing so much into them. They haven't been like the extended cuts are better, even though they're way longer.
Right.
So they just let it breathe. And I thought the little girl who played the young Diana was amazing. She was adorable, and she was great. And she had she wanted to fight, and yeah. So they took. Okay, yeah, they took a little while.
I'd say I'd say before they left the island, a solid half hour.
Yeah, and that I think was okay. I think we needed that. I think we needed
to ground her in her native.
Yeah, do her actual backstory.
Because I mean, this basically serves as an origin story. I mean, I suppose they could do Wonder Woman origins
but they've done it.
But what? I trained and that's it. I mean, there's not really much in the way of origin to tell. They told it in this film, and it's done.
And they've taken a couple of different. I think they went with a couple of different origins, because I think the being crafted out of clay and brought to life by Zeus was one of the newer ones in the last 10 years. From what I think so. Yeah, I think it's from the New 52.
For those who haven't listened to every single episode, I'm not a comics book person. I respect it. I just have never gone down that path and read it. So whatever I know about Wonder Woman or any comic book related films we talk about are from the films.
Yeah, and I am far from an expert, but I have read a decent amount of books, and that's the thing about comics, is they very often retcon and change things as they go along, like new writers, new
after you've been doing a series for 15 years, like, all right, we're going to kill them off.
75 years.
Well, I mean, every 15, 20 years, they go, all right, we're going to take it down, and we're going to origin story the whole thing. Like, we're going to Earth 2, or we're going to do another timeline, or we're going to do something.
Or we're just going to start over for no fucking reason whatsoever. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. It's their fables, and they can change and everything. Of course. So I like the fact that they added that in there, and... there's so much dog.
When the Germans show up,
yeah,
Diana and probably a good number of the Amazons there, although we know that they are immortal.
Well, I don't know if they. Well, I guess they are. Yeah.
She experienced her. Well, I don't know if they're immortal, but they have a long lifetime, because that's the first time. Remember when that one Amazonian gets shot and just hangs there on the road, and that is the first time she ever experienced death in her life. Right. I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, probably, because
it looked like, based upon all the Amazonians we saw on the island, they're all in their mid 30s to mid 40s. And that's where they sit. That's kind of where they are. Mm-hmm. There's not too many. There's a few a little bit younger, but there's not many older.
Right.
So it's almost like
none of them grew older, and she did.
Exactly. Well, because she was. They made a point to say you're the only child on this island.
Right.
So that's Zeus doing his Zeusy thing.
Yep.
Getting all. And I like how throughout the film they allowed Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, Gal Gadot to be sexy without sexualizing her
at all. Yeah,
there's nothing where, oh, you walked in on me as I'm changing and you got side boob. None of that crap.
No,
thank God.
No,
that would have just been like, really? Do you have to? No, So that was very good. I mean, because it's a feminist centered movie, I would say, or at least female centered, maybe not feminist.
Yeah.
But I like how Diana Prince would run up against, just after the turn of the century. What was this? World War I?
1918.
Well, no, it was over by 18. So this was.
Well, I
guess it ends in 18.
That's when the picture is.
Yeah,
from 1918.
Is that it? 1918.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So England in 1918. There's a woman in the room.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
Especially in England, man.
We're talking men things, and look, there's ovaries in here.
Right, and she doesn't understand why she
exactly, because having not been exposed to that, she was not conditioned to cower away from being a full member of society, and in any room she walks into that she was anything other than completely equal to anyone else in the room.
Right. She comes from a place where things got done and taken care of, and it was all women and didn't matter.
Exactly. If anything, be like, oh, these men, I don't know, can they handle it?
Handle it? Yeah.
Exactly, because she has no experience, and some of that naivete about the workings of the modern world are kind of heartbreaking, and sometimes they're used for comedic effect. You know, as she's walking around with a sword and shield trying to get through the
That was
revolving
fucking
door.
hilarious. Just walking around the streets of London carrying a sword and a
Right.
shield in a smart suit.
I am Diana Prince. Diana Prince. Diana
yeah.
Prince. Diana Prince. Like,
And I like the fact that Chris Pine, as Steve Trevor, he wasn't an idiot, but he wasn't 100%. Like, he was very, very mortal and very, like, he flawed in a lot of
flawed,
ways.
human.
He wasn't the perfect, dashing leading man. He was just a guy, and he got got beat up sometimes, but he's still a hero, kind of.
Right. And in keeping with the times, when they're on the boat as they leave Paradise Island.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to be over here. She says, why? Why are you going to be over there? Well, men and women sleeping together. Like, what? Oh, she's like, what's the deal?
Right.
I am aware of the 12 volume treatise on the female pleasure.
I really liked that. I liked how they addressed how she speaks English and how she's not completely, a doe-eyed and like lost in the world. It's like, well, we keep up on things, and we have books, and I've read all the books, and I speak hundreds of languages, and I was
like Sumerian.
Yeah, Sumerian, but I speak English as well, and
exactly.
French, and I like that. That was a real nice.
But does she know the binary language of moisture evaporators?
Well,
I'm going to say probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. I don't know if she's quite that old, but because that was a long time ago.
Okay, all right. I see.
But that was a nice filler of a plot hole. It's like, why would she? Well, how could she speak English? Oh, I speak a lot of languages. Oh yeah, beautiful, perfect.
Okay,
loved it. Loved the way they handled that. And when they get into England, it's like yeah, well, we're in London. Wow, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, yeah, because,
1918, the
Industrial Revolution.
Ugh, the worst place in the world.
It's like China
now.
Today. Yeah.
Within the last 10 years of China.
Yeah, everyone's like, China, they're taking our jobs. Yeah, but they're also taking all our pollution, our industrial waste, because all that production they're doing over there, all that waste is over there.
Yeah.
It's not over here.
And we figured that out 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And
so, well, some of us figured it out.
Yeah.
Other people haven't.
Well, those people learned how to make money off of it, is what it was.
Yes.
It has nothing to
But
do-
anyway, enough of the foibles of 100 years since Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about, we're months away from 100 years since the events. And people said, oh, no, they can't do a Wonder Woman film in World War One.
I told you
it works perfectly.
That's
because
exactly the script that Joss Whedon wrote.
It's so. I mean, as much as I love seeing Nazis get their asses handed to them and getting outplayed, it's overdone.
Yeah,
it's like oh, they're up against the Nazis. Okay, well, and of course, and that's what the first season. I think it's just the first season of the 70s television was Steve Trevor and Diana Prince in battling the Nazis in World War II. And then they flipped it to where it's Steve Trevor's, I want to say son, which is played by Lyle Waggoner, same guy, just now playing the son, and Diana Prince as Diana Prince never aging.
Yep.
They just moved it up to the 70s because I think they went for renewal and went, yeah, we need to bring down your budget. What if we didn't have to do period sets and costumes for everything? Bing, 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 bing. That'll be perfect. Wonder Woman can still do her thing. Just do it around Los Angeles in 1977. We'll be just fine.
Hey, it works.
It worked fine. I got, my favorite in the old TV show is when she dove into the ocean. Wow, the bottom of the ocean looks like the bottom of a swimming pool.
Yeah.
It literally, I saw a drain in the corner. I'm like, is there a drain at the bottom of the ocean?
Well, she also had a Wonder Woman like wetsuit, which was very weird. Like a head to toe wetsuit.
Yeah. I'm like, really?
She's like punching submarines in it, and it's like, wait, what?
Oh, yes. Well, this Wonder Woman punches large pieces of machinery.
I'm kind of glad they didn't do a Linda Carter cameo in this, because I don't think it would have fit. They did thank her in the credits. I did catch that.
I was looking for a Linda Carter cameo,
and
the thing is that it would have pulled you out of the film.
Yeah.
Because this film it had a decent amount of fish out of water comedy, male and female stereotypes that were played against one another.
Yeah.
To have a few laughs, but it was fairly serious the whole time. I mean,
yeah, there was definitely comic relief.
Yeah,
but
and if you put in Linda Carter
as a wink to the camera, it just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it, and I really hope she didn't like campaign for it and they shut her down.
No, and like I said, she's actively in the DC universe still. She's playing the president on Supergirl. She's the president of the United States on Supergirl.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so she's still active, and she's like, there's plenty. She was at the premiere with the three of them. There's pictures of her and Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins. So she's totally in on this.
Good deal.
But not having her in the movie, I think, was the right choice.
It just now if it was something like a Guardians thing where it's kind of cha the whole time, sure.
Oh yeah,
a
totally.
cameo would have been fine. Actually they would have said, "Oh look, there's," it would have made a joke about,
right.
"Oh look, there's that,"
Yeah, it would have been like having, in the middle of Batman v Superman, having Adam West stroll across the screen. It would not have worked. Would not have worked.
Although it might have improved the film.
Might have been, yeah.
Well, sorry, Zach. I got issues.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But so they do the whole fish out of water thing in London,
right?
And she's innocent, but she's never naive. I don't think she's always.
Let's just say that she is quick on the uptake, but it's not so immediate that you don't get that moment of. What?
Okay, I get that.
That moment of like, are you kidding? All right.
Oh, if this is how things are,
right? You don't see that. You know that's the internal monologue. Like, really, I got to do that? Okay,
right.
And other times, like, yeah, I see how it is. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm walking in the room. Like he ushers her out, and she turns right around and comes right back in again.
Well, yeah, and then he says, "Wait here," and he walks in, and she walks in behind him.
Right.
And he's like, "Wait, come
Exactly.
outside," and she goes right back in the door.
Yes, a woman's place is not behind you, Chris Pine.
No, not at all. Well, especially this woman.
Especially that. Yeah, exactly.
That's actually, not to sidebar. That's something I have noticed in both this and Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
At no point in either of these films do they say the words Wonder Woman at all. They have not said it yet.
That is true.
Yeah.
I wonder where that gets coined. I'm guessing that you know what? In the 70s TV show, that was coined by the Germans to explain who this woman was that kept showing up and kicking their ass. So I don't know if they're going to codify that in Justice League or in a second Wonder Woman film.
I would assume I would hope. I mean, just as a thing, just to see how
let her have her name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's interesting. Well, it wasn't really necessary in this film.
Not at all.
Because, nobody knew about her. Any place she showed up in this film, she was there for the first time.
Yeah.
So we don't get the repercussions of her actions. Let's say the next film takes place maybe for World War II. It's like Wonder Woman, Part 2, World War II.
I don't know.
Got to do this shit again with the same fucking country. Apparently, I didn't fuck you guys up enough the first time. Let's go back. And that's fine. I wouldn't mind Wonder Woman against the Nazis in a second film,
right?
Just not in the
not in the initial. No, it's cool that it's more one.
Yeah, because there's a lot more people know World War II history and the events of World War II far better than World War I.
Yeah,
far better.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more room to play around with actual fact, and maybe if you need the story to go a direction that goes against the exact history of World War I, it won't take anybody out of the film. They go, I'm sorry, no, that did not happen in France in 1917. That happened in Belgium, and because nobody knows that shit.
Right. So,
and
I think also going back to the name thing, this wasn't the era of superheroes. There wasn't a Superman. There wasn't the Batman going around. So
No.
there's no reason for her to have a name.
I mean, even if
like
we
that.
do the Watchmen thing, that didn't kick around until the 40s, I think, is when the original batch of the superheroes showed up in Watchmen. I think it was in the 40s.
Oh yeah,
30s.
yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to think as far back as origins of any kind of superheroes go
Right.
back.
I just mean like timeline in the movies. You know, we're not in like.
Oh, that's right. So it's not like the Avengers are one
Are
continent
running
away
around, yeah.
doing over there. Like, oh, look, here's another one.
Yeah, she's literally the first one.
Yeah, she's like OG.
She is the first one.
She's OG superhero. I'm trying to think. Is there any superhero that goes back further? I can't think of a single one. I mean, that was actively superheroing. There's some, where Kal-El existed on Krypton. Probably.
Well, no, he was.
He grew up in the space.
But no, Superman wasn't Superman until.
That's true. Yeah.
gets-
So basically,
Yeah,
we got
she's-
1918 as like
She's the first one.
yeah. That's a great
That's
angle.
pretty cool,
I
yeah.
like that. She's like the first one.
And when we get to Batman and Superman, we see that he's been Batman for, they said, 20 years.
Wow.
But, it's still not the age of superhero. He's still just a lunatic vigilante that a lot of people don't believe that exists. I
Right.
can't, they know he's around, but he's not like a superhero. So it's cool that, maybe we'll get that in Justice League because it's like now they're everywhere. Now the metas are everywhere.
What's your superpower? I'm rich.
I'm rich.
Like, unfortunately, that says so much about American society. It's like, so you killed those people and raped that girl, and you're not going to prison? What's your superpower? I'm rich.
It's not meant that way.
Yeah. Oh, I know it's not meant that way. I'm talking about how it's actually applied in real society. Affluenza. He can't go to jail. He's lived a rich, sheltered life. He would just wilt in prison. Oh, we can't have that.
Right.
Let's give him 6 months probation.
Right.
Fuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, back off politics. back off our current dystopian present. Let's go back to our dystopian past.
Yes. Now that was the thing. I was watching BVS. I was like, when they showed the picture, I was like, okay, there's Chris Pine. I know he's in the movie. Are they going to be able to wrangle those same actors from the photograph to be? And from what I can tell, it is who played Charlie and.
Oh, I would
Sandy.
almost expect, because
Yeah.
if you sign up for that, you've already signed for the film.
But in my head, it's like was that in production when they were?
I'm
doing
sure. I mean,
it had to have been.
let's hopefully DC has got their Feige on and are doing. The
Well, we
right-
didn't think at the time they did, but like if you're going to do something,
if you're
like
judging
that,
by Batman v Superman, you're like, nope, still haven't got their shit together.
well, I mean, if you're going to do something like that, you've got to have that continuity.
You got to seed.
yeah,
You got to
and
seed
if they,
it and tie it
if
together.
they obviously they had it.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like TV shows back in the 70s, 80s, and up to the 90s. The music that was used, they wouldn't sign rights all the way through to streaming and home video.
Well, no.
Because that wasn't even a thing. Now
Yeah.
you come back to like, oh yeah, remember how you stiffed us on the rights back in 75? Sure, we'll license to you now for a shit ton of money. And
Yep.
then that's why we get all these crappy edited episodes of television in these box sets, because no one wants to spend, $400 for one season of WKRP
Yeah.
because all the rights cost so much money.
Yep.
Nowadays, there is nothing that goes in there that isn't cleared through to every platform that will ever exist. I mean, the days when they start beaming TV directly into our brain stems, the license covers it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, there is even companies now that you can put your music with that you say, it's pre-licensed. I don't even have to know what the project is. I just want the money. Because music supervisors can go, I need something to drop into this mix tomorrow. Shit. Boom, they can go to this company and get a piece of music that fits perfectly, and it's pre-clear. They don't have to negotiate.
Yeah.
They don't have to talk to the artist. Now, of course, most of these are, the Beatles aren't in that company.
Right,
Led
right.
Zeppelin and the Who and stuff, are not in that catalog. But some of the lower level stuff, like, I don't care if you want to use my beautiful love song as the backdrop to a murder scene with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
fine, pay me. So anything that's done in these films is cleared as far as licenses and like if they want to do a flashback where they have a picture of Steve Trevor of Chris Pine.
Yeah.
It's cleared.
I didn't think, I knew Chris Pine was cast way before, but I just didn't realize they had that whole team, or that they had cast the rest of the movie that far in advance. And
it might be worth going back to the DVD and look and just go.
Yeah, because I watched it the other day just to kind of gear up, or I watched chunks of it, and mainly heard chunks, and just to see if it's the exact same guys. Because that's a little off-putting. They did that on Arrow, like on the pilot or the first episode. He's on the boat with the girl who's not his girlfriend, and basically he's cheating on his girlfriend with his girlfriend's sister, and they're on the boat, and the boat blows up, and he gets lost on the island, and then the show gets picked up, and it's a different girl in the actual show.
Well, keep in mind, with a still photograph, even if it's not the same people, they could have photoshopped that to match what was in Batman versus Superman, or they could have...
Not retroactively, though.
On the home video. Because keep in mind, unless it's Star Wars, A New Hope, most people don't have every fine detail committed to memory, so when it comes out on DVD and it's completely changed, you go wrong, and wrong. Batman v Superman on the home video, by that point maybe they got to the point where they're like, we're need to
alter that.
So
okay,
there's magical things that can happen.
Interesting. I'll look into that. I'm curious to see, but I liked that team. I liked those guys. You had your Moroccan kind of fast talking guy, actor. Yeah, your actor who and your Native American, I'll say, guide and making money, and then your Scotsman sniper.
And I'm gonna have to check the credits because I think he is in American Gods. I just watched the first episode. I think it's the same guy. They look somewhat similar. I'll have to check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, as the sniper, who kind of doesn't snipe too much.
Yeah, and I was waiting for him to do something, and he didn't.
I'm wondering if we're going to get a little more backstory in an expanded cut there. I mean, I was happy with, they gave you a little bit of the story of these people, but they didn't spend 10 minutes per character with like, so Diana, what brings you here? Well, and then spend 5 minutes talking about themselves.
They focused on him a little bit more so than I expected, and I was like,
I mean, every one of those characters had their moment, maybe 30 to 45 seconds, where it's like, there's a detail about you that wasn't revealed.
When you learn he's going to be an actor,
exactly,
he wants to be an
that
actor,
kind of
you
stuff.
learn
but it's not so long where you're going, all right, action, please. What's going on?
Exactly.
So somebody, whoever edited this, I think did fairly,
absolutely.
did
we didn't miss
good.
anything by not seeing, but I thought they were setting up something where he was going to snipe somebody.
I think they were just kind of raising. Usually, editors, if they're not careful, they will telegraph something to happen later, in the sense that if it's a team of 5, you've got your lead guy, which you know everything about, and then 4 other guys, but one guy you know a little bit too much about.
Right.
Either his death is going to mean more because we know more about him, or he's going to turn out to be the bad guy. I mean, something.
Yeah, there's always something.
So you got to be very careful about how you craft that story. Because, like, why do we know? That's the problem with Suicide Squad. We know him, and this guy. Who the hell? He just showed up. We don't know nothing about
out of
him.
The car, yeah.
Boom, and he's killed within 5 seconds of.
And I called that. In the trailers. I was like, so that's the guy who's going to get his head blown off.
Exactly.
Because he's in these pictures and he's not in these pictures.
Exactly.
And I know how this works,
and that's why I'm absolutely positive. I've not read an article about this or heard anything, but I know that there are probably a handful of people in Hollywood that are your go-to trailer creators.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That are top notch. Now there's others that are not, and they're like, wow. You revealed major plot points in that. Because you don't know the source material, you were just handed a bunch of film, and you don't know what this thing is about, so you don't realize that you've just screwed up and revealed these things.
Yeah.
Or the director goes, yeah, this is a steaming pile of shit. I got about 3 minutes of decent action in this whole film. So trailer's about 220. Let's go ahead and cram as much of the good stuff in.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like releasing an album after the lead single was a #1 hit. Come to realize that's the only good song on the record. The rest of the album is a steaming pile of garbage. But ha ha ha, we got you anyway.
Yeah.
That happens with a trailer sometime. You walk out of the theater going, yeah, I saw all that great stuff that amazed me in the trailer.
Yeah.
And everything else was like this useless appendage just hanging there limply going like,
Well, that's what I liked about this movie. The trailers didn't give away too much, I thought.
Hardly anything.
Yeah.
But it looked good.
It gave enough of her kicking ass and like the Amazons and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
I just hope that it goes on, the way this film charts its path, it stays in that she's sexy without being sexual. I mean, the film doesn't do that, but in the way it's promoted, the way people react to it.
yeah.
Because let's face it, that's what all advertising is.
Yeah, and it
Sex
hasn't
sells.
been. I mean, yes, it's her in the outfit, and the outfit is could be considered skimpy, but it's not.
It's not really.
No.
I mean, it's not, let's face it, Linda Carter's Wonder Woman had far more, plunging necklines and
the whole like the blue spangled shorts is a little much, and they didn't, and that's not what she's wearing.
And they kept kind of that color scheme a bit, but it wouldn't be anything to do with America because one, she ain't from there.
Right.
She ain't ever been there.
Right.
So why would she have anything resembling an American
No, it's
flag?
more like gladiator, like Roman.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Greek. That's
which ties into the gods, Greek and Roman kind of tossing back and forth.
Yep.
Although in trivia, when they say, what was the Roman god of like,
God damn
it's either
you.
Mars and what's the other guy?
Mars and Ares.
Ares,
Is the other one.
So, yeah, let's talk about Ares for a second.
I was very surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised. I figured out right as it happened, but
so did I. I mean, I knew that the general
was
not
MacGuffin,
going to be Ares, and I thought, are we even going to see Ares?
Yeah.
Because obviously, what she believes and what actually is, but then pretty much, nothing that she believes has proven false.
right.
So, and you looked at the island, like, no kids on the island.
Right.
So, like, Ares must be a thing.
Yep.
And then it turns out to be a foppish, not merely foppish, I don't know what the correct word is for, kind of a middle-aged, foppish. That's the only thing I can think of.
Not quite, but I know what you're trying to say.
He's not, I am Ares, and that's a way to go. And, not every
He kind of gets there
god
towards
has
the
to
end.
look like Jason Momoa, like, look at my muscles and everything. Because,
Well, he's a god. Why would he?
why would he need muscles like
Yeah.
that? I have the power of a god.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Again, spoilers, but I mean, if you've seen Harry Potter, it is Professor Remus Lupin, played by David Thewlis, who ends up being the baddie, and that was cool. What did you think of his secretary, of Etta?
When I first saw her, I've seen her in other stuff. I can't remember offhand what it was, but I like that actress, and I thought either she's going to be overused, or it's going to turn out that she's on the wrong side. And I was wrong in both accounts.
You're right.
She was a good person, and she was used just enough.
Exactly. That was my thought.
It was, you had a gallon of her, and you pour it out 2 ounces, and
she was just enough. She was there for a little bit of comedy, and she was actually helpful to the mission.
She carried around the shore, and I can't believe that Diana let her and walked away from her sword and shield. That's the god killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, okay, I can't imagine that's a thing that would happen, but okay,
Yeah.
we're,
Yeah.
you know, and the war's that way. Why are we walking this way?
Right. Yeah. Take me to the war.
Exactly.
That was so funny. You know,
it's
like the war is a place. You know?
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
And they end up going to
Is it Belgium?
bunker? Yeah, Belgium, but they get to no man's land in the bunker.
Oh.
And that was subtle, but I liked it where they were saying no man can cross this, and I was like, oh, well, she ain't a man.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing, though.
Okay.
Mustard gas was not something that was just suddenly invented in the last year of the war.
Okay.
Mustard gas would be in, I don't know how much the regular usage of it was, but that was one of the horrors, the absolute horrors of trench warfare in World War One.
Right.
It wasn't, mortars coming over. It wasn't poking your head up and having your eye shot out. It was the use of mustard gas that basically, I think it locks up your lungs and it doesn't allow you to your lungs to process oxygen. So you suffocate in your own skin.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about mustard gas. I haven't used it for so long I can't remember.
Right.
So the fact that there was no mustard gas at this over a year standoff where they haven't been able to take an inch either way.
Yeah.
And then this look over here at this villain when the real villain is, somebody else. This woman coming up with this other kind of mustard gas. They never really gave it like a name of the.
Yeah.
There's not the bad gas name. It's
Yeah.
just like it's a variant of mustard gas
That eats through.
Right. It's corrosive.
Yeah.
So, but of course, the problem with that is that it eats through infrastructure and armaments.
Yeah.
There's the reason why people like the idea. Well, some people like the idea of a neutron bomb. It basically wipes out the organic life, but leaves the infrastructure intact. Whereas a nuclear detonation just takes out everything and basically salts the earth for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
So that was a little unclear.
Yeah, but again, I mean, it's not a documentary,
Right, exactly.
It's still pretty damn, accurate.
I'm the Neil deGrasse Tyson of World War One.
Right.
That didn't happen there. That
Right.
was in Belgium.
And the fact that they even, the fact that they were relatively accurate is good enough. You know, it is a comic book movie.
And who's to say that, maybe they couldn't produce mustard gas fast enough? Maybe there were respites in the battle where maybe 6 months went by where there wasn't any. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all good.
And that's the reason why it works for World War One, whereas I'm pretty, most of us know let's say far more about World War II.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why poison gas wasn't used hardly at all, because the Germans, remember, it was used on their ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who the most famous person who ever got a taste of the mustard gas and decided not to use it in World War II?
Who? Hitler?
Yep.
Huh.
That's exactly it. Wish he had taken a bigger whiff of that stuff.
Just a little bit.
Just huff a bit more.
Yeah.
You
got just to be sure.
Yeah,
Just to
exactly.
be sure.
It's like, You got any of that special Dijon mustard gas?
Oh, you go straight to hell.
Okay. I'm hanging my head in shame right now.
So I like that scene in the trenches where she finally throws off the robe and you see her in full Wonder Woman gear and goes out and just whoops.
She basically sheds her last fuck. Like, all right, I'm out of fucks now.
Yeah.
War's over there.
Because you kind of see her in it, but she's got the cloak on most of the time.
Right.
And finally it's like, all right,
people are starving and being hurt over there.
Yeah, well,
I'm going over there then.
Yeah, we can't go over there. Well, okay. I'm going over there anyway.
Now, question.
Yeah.
We know that the Amazons have long life, but are entirely mortal because, bullet poop, and she's a god. This has been revealed. Yes. God took the last of his essence, shall we say, and birthed another god.
Yep.
Basically, Wonder Woman and Ares are brother and sister.
Yeah.
So, yikes. So, if she got hit with a bullet, would she die?
I don't think so.
I mean, obviously she can anticipate everything with and I've noticed in some cases I I don't know what bracers for your legs are called.
I don't know.
Like shin guards or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure that,
I'm sure there's a
I'm
term.
watching. I mean, she's deflecting bullets off of that, off her sword,
Yep.
off her shield, off her leg in places, which makes sense because a lot of these comic book, we're going into battle, but all I have is this dental floss and 2 Band-Aids.
Right.
Like, how is that preparing for battle?
It's not.
That's preparing for, I don't know, a Playboy photo shoot or something. That has nothing to do with going into battle. So they made it to where you could see she's lean and toned and attractive, but she's still, covered.
Right, and I like the fact that they were bracers and not bracelets. That's
Right,
how we
right, exactly. More coverage and more...
Yeah, they were actual armor pieces.
Exactly. It's not like she could go into Harrods in London and go, oh, look, these look just like my little bracelets.
Yeah. Did you? I really enjoyed the couple of little Superman nods that they did with the glasses.
Yes.
And almost exactly the same scene from the Christopher Reeve Superman when they're in the alley and he shoots and that was very close to it. So I was like, okay, good, yeah.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true because at that point, I don't think he really saw much of her fighting on the beach.
No,
he was kind of involved in his own thing.
Right.
So,
but she still wasn't. She hadn't discovered more of her power at that point. She was still kind of a
her
maiden.
goddessness.
Yeah, exactly. She hadn't jumped across and climbed the rock building.
Exactly. Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I knew when she jumped over there, she goes, ha ha, like, that's going to break.
Yeah.
And it totally broke.
Yeah.
I'm like, I knew that would happen. As far as the CGI in this film, they still haven't quite got it with human movement, because there are certain scenes where it goes from CGI and cuts to Diana.
Yeah.
You can totally tell. I mean, it's not as bad as Yoda fighting Palpatine in was it Revenge of the Clones? Or is it Sith?
It's the end of Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones?
Yeah.
But there's just something that doesn't quite adhere to the laws of physics that just seem just a tiny bit off. Not so much that it pulled me completely out of the film, but there were some scenes where I'm like, all right, that's totally CGI. Even when it was... like, why would they make that CGI? And then it did something spectacular. Like, oh, that's why they had to make that CGI. Obviously, they're not going to pull a $6 million man. Well, they show a close-up of her jumping up, cut away to leaping up, and then cut back to her landing.
Yeah, they do it on the TV shows too. They use what's called digidoubles, where they have scanned her into a computer and they can animate it. And it's better than the TV versions, but you're right. It's still, not.
They haven't reached the uncanny valley. They're at the unbelievable plateau before the valley.
Yeah,
it's not so realistic where you're like, oh my god, how does she do those stunts? You can just see there's a certain.
It's harder when you get like. You can pull it off with Iron Man and like Spider-Man
because they're in the suits,
full costumes, covered. When it's supposed to be a person with like hair and
the movement of the hair,
skin.
the way the light reflects on even off of skin, and
can't. It's just
tough.
A little bit, but still, it still isn't bad.
Hey, take this film back 50 years and show it to somebody like, oh my god, she's a goddess among. They wouldn't believe that was even possible.
Yeah, I liked her fighting style and the Amazon fighting style. Like they had a bunch of moves that were definitely
a lot of Zack Snyder slow down, speed up.
A
lot of swooping, a lot of.
It's the only way we can see it.
You go high, I'm going low, motherfucker. Whoop,
all right, so I'm trying to think what else.
Well, Mr. Trevor Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Now here's another thing. Big explosion. She's a goddess. Mm-hmm. Goddess.
Yep.
Her ears are ringing. She can't hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I'm going, can that really happen to a god?
A little MacGuffin-y. I mean, they needed to kind of do that.
They needed...
But it wasn't as hokey as it could have been in a lot of spots. It wasn't like, well, why is that her?
I'm sitting there looking like, I can't hear. Okay, so this is going to come back. Somehow this is going to come back. And I appreciate the fact that they didn't try to salvage Steve Trevor for Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah,
They
let him just be dead.
It's let there be real consequences in these films.
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking forward to Infinity War. I want some of these motherfuckers to die.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah.
Because that's the way things roll.
Right. Well, the problem is though that comic books invented the coming back to life thing.
Of course, just because they die in Infinity War, it doesn't mean all of a sudden, Earth 17 goes, yeah, we got a spare Iron Man, or we got a spare Hulk.
Everybody always, it's a way for a character to come back and either be evil or be good,
Right.
or, believe me, that's where it all started. But
it's basically soap opera and spandex.
yeah, exactly. But I like, yes, let him be gone, and even when she was emailing Bruce at the end of the movie, thanks you for bringing him back to me. That was kind of, I guess that's why she wanted the picture,
Right?
To have a memento of Steve in that time. So,
Yeah.
and that was cool. He was a hero. He wasn't a superhero, but he sacrificed himself.
What is the mechanism that made? I mean, because that explosion was fantastic.
Yeah.
For basically a big ass plane with a bomb on it.
Yeah. Well, it had a lot of bombs on it, is what it was.
Well, I mean, no, they were gas bombs. They weren't explosive bombs.
Right.
I mean, they made of to release the gas.
I don't know.
What was on that plane? I noticed we saw.
Oh, it was
timer.
it was hydrogen based. That's why it exploded. That's what they said.
That's it. The hydrogen.
Yeah.
That's right. Because I remember the Native American character. Which,
Yep, the
sorry,
chief.
Native American character. I don't remember your name.
The chief, they called him. I think.
Is that just Chief? Okay.
Yeah.
Seems a little reductive and.
But it would be in 1918.
You know what? That's true.
He wouldn't even be called a Native American at that point.
That's true.
He would be the Indian chief.
Yeah,
is exactly who he would be.
Gosh, yeah.
But yes, he did say they were hydrogen based.
That's true.
So,
Okay, there
so
we
there
go.
you go.
Answer,
They really.
I was looking for those
crafted this
plot
well.
holes. Just filled that plot hole right up there.
They clear it up pretty well. Yeah.
So, well, you remember what happened in what was it? 32 was the Hindenburg, was it?
Something like that.
So, we from our vantage point, we know how unstable hydrogen can be.
Yeah, and they say actually they did a whole experiment on that on MythBusters, and they say what they painted, like the mixture of what they used to like coat the thing is what really did it. Like the hydrogen was bad.
Would it carry the electric charge?
No, it like was so unbelievably flammable. It was called the dope, is what they used to like seal the whole thing and make it airtight. And that stuff was like ridiculously unstable and flammable. So that when the hydrogen went, that's why it burned so spectacularly and so fast. Like they did it on MythBusters, and they showed how like crazy fast it was. So. But yes, the hydrogen is what blew up so crazy big.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yep.
And he's gone.
Yeah, and I'm glad about that. And the other guys made it, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, because you thought, all right, which
team.
one of these guys is gonna have their scene? We're like, oh, go on without me or some bullshit. No, they all made it.
They all made it, and good. I like those guys.
Now the question is for Wonder Woman 2, are we going to go directly from the aftermath of that into another? I mean, are we going to get to present day time in Wonder Woman 2?
I don't know. That's what I would think. I mean,
we don't necessarily have to ever get to present day time in a standalone Wonder Woman film because she's in the Justice League stuff, which is in present time.
I think from what they were setting up and from interviews I've read that after this or after maybe another adventure too, she took herself out of the world of men. Like she stopped being. But I think when the events in Batman v Superman where she had to fight Doomsday, I think that's what kind of sparked her to come back. I think.
All right.
But, I don't know anything. But, if we do have Wonder Woman 2, it would be cool to have it in present day and have it,
Well, I don't know. There's between 1918 and present day. There's some. It's not just the Nazis. I mean, there's
true. Yeah.
There's a lot of other stuff you could do.
And it won't always just be, Nazis. It'll be some kind of supernatural thing. They can't just have her just, wandering and beating up Nazis because that's not a movie.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Well,
I love beating up Nazis.
Oh, I agree. But
Indiana Jones, but of course, there's always a supernatural element in
exactly
all the Indiana Jones too.
you don't have a god just fighting normal people because it's not
Yeah, we're like, well, I
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
I'm a god.
Exactly.
That's what I do. Do. What do I do now?
Yep.
A lot of killing to do.
Yep.
Do.
And the one thing we did notice is no post-credit scene.
No, well, it's DC, not Marvel.
Yeah. Well, they did. DC had Suicide Squad had a mid-credit scene, and
Oh gosh, and
Batman Superman didn't.
And Guardians didn't have a post credit. They had tons of inter-credit scenes,
Right.
like 5 of them or something.
right, just going over the top as
Yeah.
is well it should.
Just to wring every last joke they could.
Yeah,
out of
totally.
everything. And of course, well done. Why
well
not?
done. Yeah. Again.
So next, what is next? Is it Thor?
I don't know when.
I want Thor to come out. Damn it! I keep seeing this trailer, and every time I see that title card that looks like the sequel,
1983.
it looks like Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
They'd say, "All right, that's a wrap on Flash Gordon, and we're starting on Thor."
Yeah.
and it looks so good.
Justice League is November. I don't know what else is now. I think we got a lull for a bit.
No. There's got to be something else coming up. We'll consult our.
Yeah,
our-
we'll double
our
check.
calendar. Whatever it is, we'll go. We didn't do one on Logan. I still haven't seen it.
Well, when you watch it, we'll do
All
it.
right. We'll talk about Logan.
Yeah, I'll watch it again.
Yeah, well, it got universally great reviews. I haven't heard anybody went, it was okay.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's great.
Everyone loved it. Well, because there's probably some really good acting in it.
Well, there is.
Yeah.
There really
That's what I'm
is.
saying. Well, a lot of people go, superhero films, who cares? Like, no. When you pair it up with some really good acting.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the best review I read before I saw the movie was they'd finally justified having Patrick Stewart in this role.
Right. Exactly. You get a Shakespearean trained classical actor. They finally elevated the material to the point where he could use his full skill to be able to.
And you get to hear him swear, which is great. And you get to see Wolverine fucking kill people. So
Good. Well, that's.
as he should.
Thank God for Deadpool, because all of a sudden the studios went,
Yep.
we can do superhero R-rated films? Yes, we can.
I saw an interview with Patty Jenkins, the director, who, yay, good for her.
Director of Wonder Woman.
Of Wonder Woman, not Logan. And she said, yeah, there was talk of making it R-rated because that's a thing now, but she said...
Why?
But she said, I said, absolutely not. She said, there's no reason to, and I don't want little girls to not be able to see this.
Exactly.
This is for girls.
This is really a landmark film,
Right.
For women. Just if only because Hollywood finally went, okay, we'll see if the chicks can do it. Of course they could do it. This is this film is total vindication that yes, a woman can carry a film. I guarantee you, it's going to be the top box office.
Oh,
this
without a
weekend.
doubt. I'm wondering where it's going to land.
Yeah,
though.
I'm wondering where it's going to land as far as grosses. If it's going to cross 100 million this weekend or next weekend.
By next weekend, absolutely. I'm hoping this weekend.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
hoping this weekend.
So finally, maybe maybe
Just open the door a little bit.
Exactly. So,
on something that has been passed on for years and years.
I'm
and
not
years.
saying we necessarily need a Scarlet Witch standalone, but maybe a Black Widow standalone.
She's deserved it for a long time. She should have had one by now. Like I've been saying, this is the one thing DC has beat Marvel to. Finally, is having a female superhero movie.
Absolutely.
And Marvel, DC technically has kind of done it twice, having Suicide Squad. I mean, the main focus was Harley. But she wasn't the lead.
It was kind of,
this is Wonder Woman.
It was kind of Harley. It was like the Harley Deadshot film,
right? But
and
still,
and theoretically, originally it was going to be far more Joker, and they scaled Joker way back.
Yeah,
which may have been
not a bad idea.
Yeah. I like Stoner Joker much better than I like Meth Joker.
Yeah. Again, that's a whole.
Hey, it's a take.
Yeah, it's a take.
It's a take. What did he do? He sent like dead rats to everybody on or he did some weird shit on that. So.
Well, it's funny. They were saying that they said one of the issues with Suicide Squad is I couldn't see this Joker fighting this Batman, this Affleck, but I could see this Joker and that Lex Luthor being together. because they're both that crazy in that way.
Let's get all the different variations and do one super. Like, we finally got the properly cast film.
Yeah,
and let's go.
Right. But yes, I'm hoping that it breaks 100 million and that it
opens the door.
I know it's doing well. I mean,
just go to Comic-Con or Dragon Con. Look who's there.
Yeah.
It's not a bunch of bored girlfriends being drug around by their nerdy boyfriends.
No.
There's groups of girls that are like, fuck a guy, I don't need a guy, and they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
There's an audience. At the very least, there's an audience.
Yeah.
If you ask any, geeky girl out there, what's the one superhero film you want to see? They're going to say Wonder Woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and now we got it, and it's well cast, and my crush on Gal Gadot is fully intact. And
I will tell you, I think my favorite thing about her throughout this entire movie is that she smiled all the time, like
it's like, I'm a badass.
It wasn't I'm angry, I'm mean.
Right.
It's like she enjoyed things and she was enjoying life and she smiled and it was so wonderful to see that.
And of course, now that she knows she's a god, she has even more reason not to be so I want to say reactive, so necessarily emotionally invested as humans are in certain things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here comes the danger. Okay, let's go take care of this, as opposed to, oh no, because the stakes are not as high for her personally, but her love of humanity makes the stakes high for her in that regard.
And
so she can basically be the cool eye of the storm while everything's coming out, and like, all right, time to kick some more ass. I am a god, and y'all about to die.
This movie, again, complements or what's the word?
Pairs well?
No. It justifies and explains and makes her lines in Batman Superman even that much cooler. Like when he's he says, I've met girls like you, women like you before, and she says, you've never met women like me before. And when Doomsday shows up and like it's not from this world, and she pulls her sword out, it's like, I've killed things from other worlds before. Like no problem whatsoever.
So right there, that could be, Wonder Woman 2. Let's justify that line. What did she say?
Ares, I think. My thought is Ares.
Or no, I'd say Ares is of this world. I mean, not of the human world, but of the planet Earth.
Right.
I mean,
maybe it is.
We don't say Ares is also doing shit on other planets. So maybe Wonder Woman 2 is, just make the intergalactic baddie be worthy.
Yeah.
Just
Well, yeah, we're getting towards, all this is leading up to Darkseid, which is their version of Thanos. Is where it's going. That's basically where, from what you see in Justice League and what you saw at because
the Justice League trailer is growing on me. Every time I see it, I'm like, I'm feeling a little bit better about it.
Yeah. It's
a little bit.
It's
and 90% of that is Aquaman. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and her. I mean,
well, of course, her.
And they loosened up Affleck a little bit.
And he's not directing, so.
Oh no!
I think, he was never directing Justice League.
No, he was going to direct the Batman movie.
The Batman, and then he pulled out of that because he's been having some substance abuse problems. So.
Right, and they just need him to just act. And maybe him and Jeff Johns take a pass at the script.
Right? Yeah. Well, yeah, because remember his first Oscar was for what?
Writing.
Acting? No, it was for writing.
Right, and
so.
didn't he write The Town as well that he won the Oscar for?
Or
Argo, one of those.
No, he directed.
He directed both of those, but I'm not sure if he had a hand in the script.
I don't know.
That's a good.
I don't know about them apples.
Yeah.
When will the comedy start?
Right. So, yay, DC. Thank you. Good.
Yeah.
Finally, thank you, Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins for doing it right.
Doing it definitely right, and hopefully doing more in the future. I hope she stays with the franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, just because she did one, maybe she's like, I've done my superhero film. I'm going to do something else. Let's hope she stays with it.
Yeah,
I think she acquitted herself very, very well.
Yeah.
you know, and doesn't go off into the ether. I mean, Catherine Bigelow, come back. You know, we got our Hurt Locker, and I don't know what she's done since then.
Well, it might not have been on her. It might be the industry.
Yeah.
So
Hollywood.
here we go, 100 million. That's what we need, so that for all the women to go, see, God damn it.
Now, when we went to see Guardians of the Galaxy at exactly the same point in the release as Wonder Woman, because remember, we saw it opening weekend on a Saturday at 2:30.
Yeah, we did. As a matter of fact, yeah.
How many people were in Wonder Woman versus Guardians?
More.
A lot more.
Yeah.
What was the take of Guardians? Fucking huge.
Yep.
I think it's just behind the Sleeping Beauty. Beauty and the
Beauty and the
Beast.
Beast, yeah.
The live action one. And that thing pulled in. They're just
Did like 150.
Oh, they just backed up tanker trucks and just poured
like
gold
opening
to
weekend.
balloons.
They did.
Oh yeah, everyone went to go see that. So just based on our tiny little sample of, we were sitting there with maybe 10 other people. I'd say we were in there with maybe 40 people.
Yeah.
So
for a 2:30 on a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Still pretty damn good.
So not bad for a chick flick. Now, we're talking about what could possibly be in the sequel of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see, and I even have a title ready for it, okay? What I would like to see is Wonder Woman pair up with Cecile Richards of Planned Parenthood to battle the GOP-led Congress. And the name of the film is Wonder Woman.
Medication time. Medication time.
Ran out of time. I will tell you next week.
The 9 Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Benny Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Lohner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Beepthought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and Lexicon. Legal counsel with the offices of Howard and Fine. I never did see the Invisible Jet. Oh, I guess that...
It would be an invisible biplane.
Our intro music is written by Tim Akers. This podcast was sponsored by Deep Track Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Listen, watch on YouTube, listen on SoundCloud, stream us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or email us, comlink@billionpod.com. Until this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Michael Reed.
LOZ!
Audio Primate.